Saunas are a huge part of my life. If I could have a Mike Gorman essentials list, like a Mike Gorman starter pack, like the meme, saunas would definitely be on there. It'd be like saunas, bidets, cold plunges, I don't know. You get the idea. But in all seriousness, if it wasn't for saunas, I probably wouldn't even be into cold plunging. Rumor has it, George R.R. Martin's A Song of Fire and Ice, which inspired Game of Thrones, was actually inspired by saunas and cold plunges. Just kidding. That's not true at all. George R.R. Martin is definitely not into contrast therapy, but nonetheless, I have been to so many different gyms in my life, and overall, the sauna culture is pretty standard across the country. I will say I've never actually been in a sauna in a different country, only the United States, but definitely it would be a bucket list item for me to check out like a Finnish sauna or just saunas around the world. But even just across the USA, obviously each gym is a little different setups, different sauna temperatures, and most importantly, different people. I have given this list a lot of thought, and as someone who's probably used a sauna in over like 100 gyms across multiple states, I do believe that I am in fact the most qualified person to make this list. So here are my do's and don'ts of sauna use. Do. Chat it up. I'm going to start this list a little controversial, as there are people who think that the sauna should only really be used for a Zen experience. I am, of course, not one of those people. The sauna should definitely be a relaxing place, but to me, it's not really a place of meditation. There are many times and places for you to meditate. The sauna is not necessarily one of them. But if you do want to meditate in the sauna, feel free. Nobody is certainly stopping you, but I am probably going to talk if I feel like it and the mood is right. Sometimes I may just want to chill and meditate myself, but other times I may want to talk. Totally dependent on the day. And in general, I look at the sauna as a place to network, meet like-minded people. I have made tons of friends in the sauna. I've met famous people in saunas. I've even gotten work in saunas. I feel like today everyone's just on the phone all the time and people don't just sit and chat, but I feel like the sauna is one place where you're sort of forced to talk. No cell phones, which I'll talk about later, so people can be a little more free with what they have to say because they're not worried about getting recorded, and I feel like in the saunas people can really just let it rip. And I really just think that so much of people's true selves come out when there's no cell phones around, the endorphins are flowing, the sweat's dripping. I have had some of the most incredible conversations that I've ever had in saunas. I feel like there's sort of a unity where everyone is just trapped inside this sweaty box, and everyone in the sauna is at different stages of their sweat journey, and I find that the more you sweat, the more uncomfortable you become, and the more endorphins you release, the more you're just willing to let it rip and just have some incredible conversation. I love when you get to that point in the conversation where you're just talking to someone and the conversation is so good that you don't want to leave, but you're literally just about to faint from all the heat, and you just keep going and you keep talking because you just don't want to leave, and finally you have to just tap out of the conversation and you're just like, listen man, I gotta go. You just tap out of the conversation. I feel like it's just amazing, and so much camaraderie to me is built in the sauna. It's just a great place to conversate. Moving on. Don't adjust the temperature. As a general rule of thumb, the temperature of the sauna should basically be set at the highest temperature it can go, or the temperature that the gym or owner of the gym wants to set it to. I absolutely despise people who try to cover the thermometer with a cold water rag in order to manipulate the temperature in order to get the sauna hotter. Look, I like hotter saunas as well, but it's not up to you to manipulate the equipment. Whoever owns the gym sets the temperature, and you don't get to decide that it should be hotter and risk breaking equipment that's not yours by messing around with thermometers just because you want to sweat quicker. And I've seen so many awful people who'll just walk into like a 190 degree sauna and they'll be unhappy with the heat because, as they say, they just aren't sweating enough. To which I'd say, bro, we're all in this together. Sit the F down and just enjoy the ride. I don't care if you only have 10 minutes and you have to be home to pick up your kids or whatever. You do not get to manipulate the temperature of the sauna because you want the sweat to come quicker. Just stay in longer if you want to sweat more. You aren't special. 180 degrees, 190 degrees, hell, even 170 degrees is hot enough. It just takes time. You just have to sit there, enjoy it, relax, and let the sweat come. And you do not have the right to risk breaking someone else's equipment because you don't want to invest the proper amount of time it takes to get a proper sweat. Be respectful of space. So look, I'm cool if you want to lay down, but only if there's ample space for it. The second more people start to come in, no more lying down. Do not make someone ask you for a seat if you're the one lying down. And to me, even if someone doesn't necessarily say that they don't want your seat, you still cannot lay down because guess what? They may change their mind as they get hotter. And nobody should ever have to ask someone who's laying down to stop laying down for their seat. And trust me, I know laying down in the sauna is amazing, but should really only be used sparingly at your own discretion and only when ample space is available. With that being said, be responsible about space. I believe everyone should be able to sit down upright with a solid amount of space on their left or right. So, this would be sort of like your sauna zone, just like this, solid rule of thumb. And don't be that asshole who wants to squeeze in and take a seat. We're all sweating in here. Nobody wants to touch anybody. No one wants someone else's sweat to drip onto them, onto their foot. Anyway, it's gross. If you have to wait for a seat, just wait for the seat. It's kind of like the unwritten urinal rule. If there's 3 urinals and you're the first one in the bathroom, take the urinal all the way to the left. Then someone enters, they should take the one all the way to the right. And if there's not a lot of space, when a third person enters, they should not take the middle urinal. They should just wait until the left or the right one opens up. Don't have bodily functions in the sauna. This one should go without saying, but believe it or not, I have been in the sauna where someone farted. To me, this is grounds to fight. It was literally one of the most disrespectful things that has ever happened to me, but the kid was like 16 years old, so I didn't really do anything other than I firmly said, listen, don't ever do that again. It was so gross, so disrespectful. Obviously, that's an extreme situation. Other bodily functions are like blowing your nose, coughing, not cool. Now look, I get it, we're all human, and if you have to like randomly sneeze or something, all good. But if you come in the sauna because you're sick and you're coughing all over the place and blowing your nose, you're just an absolute asshole. You're just trying to get other people sick. And once again, to me, this is fighting grounds. It's like, dude, you're literally putting my health at risk, you selfish asshole. So if you are sick and you want to go into the sauna, you gotta hide it. You gotta just suppress the coughs. Don't be blowing your nose. I get it. Going in the sauna when you're sick actually does help to fight the illness, but you just can't be blowing your nose, bringing tissues in there. It's just not a good look. Get in quick. This one's pretty easy and obvious, but just be quick with the door. Don't hold it open for your friend walking in from down the hall. Don't open it too wide. Don't go all the way open with the door. It's just a comfortable open. I'm not telling you to open it small and slide in there, but just a very comfortable, normal door open, and just be quick about it. Open the door, get in there, and then make sure it's fully closed behind you. Don't bring your phone in the sauna. So this one I may get some slack for. And quite frankly, I will actually admit that I have broken this rule. For example, one time I was walking into the sauna and I got this idea for a video I wanted to make. I was feeling inspired. I ran back into the locker room to grab my phone, and then I wrote down the ideas that were just flowing through my brain. I wrote them down on my phone while in the sauna. So yes, I do break some of my own rules from time to time, but in general, saunas are not places for your phone. For one, the heat from the sauna will obviously heat up the phone internally, and it could, in fact, damage your phone and specifically the battery. Also, you are bringing your phone into a box with others, and phones do emit a large amount of EMFs, and they emit even more EMFs when they are searching for a signal. A lot of saunas don't have service, which means that your phone will have to search further and harder for that 5G signal, which in fact radiates more EMFs and just makes for a unsafe EMF environment. So you are actually putting other people's health in danger from the EMFs if you don't have your cell phone on airplane mode. Fun fact, on the rare occasions that I do bring my phone into the sauna, I do put it on airplane mode, as I do even when I'm not in the sauna and I have to have my phone near my body for extended periods of time. And I know what some people are going to say. What if I want to listen to a podcast or music when I'm in the sauna? And I will say, listening to an audiobook or a podcast is a great thing to do when you're in the sauna. To which I would say, the solution is oh so easy and so obvious. I shouldn't have to be saying this, but just put your phone outside of the sauna and use Bluetooth headphones to listen to your podcast or audiobook. With the one caveat, keep the volume low in your ears. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in the sauna with someone blasting music in their headphones and everybody can hear it. It's absolutely an asshole move and just destroys the vibe of the sauna and makes everyone's experience worse just so that one selfish person can have his crappy music. And I feel like people who do this, like, it's always rap music, it's always just so loud, it's so obnoxious, and absolutely no phone calls, no FaceTimes in the sauna. This really shouldn't need to be said, but I've seen it, and it's one of the most disrespectful things that you can do, and obviously grounds to be removed from the sauna. I mean, listen, I get it, you know, you're in the sauna, you gotta kill a half hour, might as well take a meeting. Well, no, that is just so disrespectful. I feel like as a society, we just have to have the understanding that a sauna is a beautiful, sacred place where cell phones don't exist. I know for me, I look forward to going to the sauna all day. It's what gets me through the day, and I finally, after I get all my work done, it's like my reward. I get into the sauna, and I swear to God, if I have to hear you take a work call in the sauna, I am going to be pissed. Drink water. I highly recommend bringing a water bottle with you, preferably not plastic. But bringing a water bottle will most definitely make your experience better. It'll make it safer. You know, when you're in the sauna, you're sweating out all of these toxins and all these fluids, so it is important to replace the fluids. Bonus points if you add a little salt to your water to replace your electrolytes. Don't pour water on the rocks. For one, most sauna heaters are not made for this, and pouring water on the rocks can damage the heating unit. But more importantly, it's just disrespectful to everyone else in the sauna. Like, why do you get to decide that you want steam and that you want a little bit of a higher temperature, which then in turn changes the vibe and literally it changes the biochemistry of the sauna itself? So pouring water on the rocks, it's just not cool in any way. Now, I know some gyms, some saunas allow you to pour water on the rocks, so whatever. I mean, if the gym allows for it, go for it. However, I do think that you should ask everybody in the sauna if they're okay with it. Just because a gym allows for you to pour water on the rocks doesn't mean that you should just go ahead and do it willy-nilly. You have to make sure people are cool with it. And if this is the case where you are allowed to pour water on the rocks, you simply must use the water that is provided by the gym. And the reason for this is I don't know what kind of water you are throwing on those rocks. And quite frankly, I don't trust anyone. Pouring water on the rocks is especially dangerous to your health because when you pour water on the rocks, you are vaporizing the water. So any chemicals like chlorine or fluoride in the water get vaporized, and when water is vaporized, it is more easily inhaled into your lungs. So it's obtrusive to the eyes, the skin. It just changes everything. So for this reason, essential oils should also never be poured on rocks. And I have done a whole separate video about this that I would be happy to put in the show notes. But yeah, essential oils should absolutely never be used in a sauna. And once again, if the gym fully allows random people to pour water on the rocks and they don't provide you with the water to put on the rocks, I believe that the Board of Health should be called, as the gym is putting everyone's health at risk with their negligence. Do use a towel. This one is pretty self-explanatory, should be pretty obvious, but nobody wants to see your junk or see your bare ass on the sauna wood. This isn't the 70s in San Francisco. Just use a towel or wear a bathing suit. No big deal. Don't overcrowd. If the sauna is full, just wait outside. Some saunas are very small, and you're just gonna ruin everyone's time if you insist on crowding in and hovering over someone. But think of it like one of the machines at the gym, Sometimes you just have to wait for that leg extension machine, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't just force someone to work in with their sets. You just be a respectful person. You wait to use the machine. Maybe you go do something else, swim some laps, and then come to the sauna later. But don't overcrowd. Do play games with yourself. And this one is probably my favorite one on the list. And I don't know if it's just a me thing, but I'm just always playing internal games with myself. Like, for example, if I'm really hot and I'm really just feeling like, damn, it's about time, I really need to get out, I'll look at the clock and I'll be like, okay, I'm staying in for another 2 minutes. Or like, I'll kind of like round up to the next 10-minute mark. So for example, if it's like 3:12, I'll be like, all right, I'm sitting in here until 3:15. And if I can't do these extra 3 minutes, if I can't do these gruesome extra 3 minutes, my whole family dies. And I don't know if it's just a guy thing, but I do that stuff all the time. I'll be like, if I can't achieve this goal, my whole family dies and I'll be single and alone forever and I'll lose all my money. So I'm just always just playing fun games with myself. I've been doing it since I was a little kid. Another game that I like to play is sometimes I'll just pick some random guy and be like, this guy is not staying longer than me. I refuse to leave until he leaves first. I'm not leaving before him. And obviously this is all internal. Like, I'm not telling the guy that I'm doing this. It's just like in my head, this guy is my enemy and I'm outlasting him. I'm going to out-sauna this person. So yeah, I just set up weird goals, just weird things to keep my mind off of the discomfort and weird things to keep me in there longer, but it makes it fun. Don't wear scented products. Now, this one kind of goes for all of life, but why are you as a man wearing perfume? Why are you as a man putting deodorant on your armpits to block sweat? Sweat coming out of your armpits means there are toxins in your body that need to come out. And you should not be blocking this process or covering up that smell. Because that smell, that BO coming out of your armpits is your body telling you that there is a problem. And just covering them up with awful chemicals and awful deodorants is not going to fix the problem. In fact, it's just going to make the problem worse. The skin is highly porous. My rule of thumb is if you wouldn't put it in your mouth, don't put it on your skin. So ditch the perfumes, ditch the colognes in all of life, but especially in the sauna. Nobody should be subjected to smell your gross Axe body spray. It's just gross. Don't wear shoes. Another one that's just disrespectful and usually goes against most gym policies, but the rubber on the shoes can ruin and damage the sauna wood. Shoes are also just kind of gross, and they bring germs and other crap from the outside world into the sauna. So just go barefoot or wear socks. I personally wear shower sandals in order to avoid getting athlete's foot, but no shoes. Don't work out. This is one of my absolute biggest pet peeves in the sauna, and it usually starts with someone just kind of like moving around, and then before you know it, the moving around just starts to get excessive and it turns into a full-fledged workout. And listen, I get it if you want to rip a quick little stretch in there because everything's feeling good, feeling loose, but there is a special place in hell for people that want to work out in the sauna. It absolutely destroys the vibe. And it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, technically it's okay for one person to do it, but if everyone did it, it just wouldn't be possible. We can't live in a world where everybody gets to work out in the sauna. So because everyone can't work out in the sauna, unfortunately, nobody gets to work out in the sauna. It's just wildly selfish and wildly lame. I wish more than anything that I could have my own private sauna to work out in, and believe me, I would. I'd bring the kettlebells in there, I'd do yoga in there, but I don't have one. So that's why I have to go to public saunas, and occasionally, if I want to work out in a hot space, I'll take a hot yoga class, but I'm not going to work out in the sauna unless I am literally the only person in the sauna, and then if someone else were to come in, I'm going to immediately stop. I'll never forget this one time I was in the sauna and this guy was doing a whole circuit. He was doing jumping jacks and push-ups and air squats. He was breathing so heavily and he was making such a scene. And I asked him to stop, to which he said, "I normally wouldn't do this, but I got to the gym late." To which I was like, I couldn't care less how late you got to the gym. And I was like, dude, you're literally ruining everyone's experience in here. To which he was literally just like acknowledged it. He was like, yeah, I get it, but I gotta do it because I got here late. And I just looked this guy dead in the eyes and I was just like, dude, you're just an asshole. Not one of my proudest moments in life, but I was just so pissed. Like I said, I look forward so much to going to the sauna, so it just kills me when people just ruin that experience for me. So this one is really just more of like a tip from me, but if there's really anything that you should take away from this video, it should be this. When you're in the sauna, you are sweating out all of your toxins, and while so much of the toxins and sweat will drip off of you, a lot of those toxins will actually remain on the surface of the skin. So I cannot recommend it enough, but the best thing you could do immediately after you get out of the sauna is run and just sprint to the shower. Run to the shower like your life depends on it and just wash away all of those toxins, get it all off your body, because if you don't do this, the toxins will reabsorb back into your body through your skin, and all that great work you did sweating it out will have been for nothing. One more thing. It should be a cold shower, and trust me, it will be the best cold shower of your life every single time. I also don't really recommend using soap right away because, right after the sauna, the pores on your skin are wide open. So all of that soap, which soap is a toxic chemical, and remember what I said, if you wouldn't put it in your mouth, don't put it on your body. So obviously, if you put soap on your body, it will absorb more easily into your skin because your pores are going to be much more open after a sauna. So if you are going to use soap, I would say take a cold shower first, get those pores nice and closed. Once you go into a cold shower, your skin is going to tighten, your pores are going to close. After that, if you have to use the soap, then apply the soap. This has been my do's and don'ts of sauna etiquette. Feel free to reach out, leave a comment if you disagree or agree with me, or if you have one that I missed, leave it in the comments. Boom! This is the Cold Plunge Podcast with me, Mike Gorman. Be sure to check out the video version of this podcast on our YouTube channel and check the show notes for any references, studies, or links to anything I spoke about on our website at plungereviews.com/podcasts. If you have a question you want answered or comment about the show, feel free to reach out in our official Facebook group, which is called Cold Plunge Community.